this is Lisa from coochiecoochiecoo.com. If you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I really love cats. Quite a few years ago, I made a cat-shaped neck pillow similar to this one for my kids. It was so loved that it just basically fell apart. So I decided to make an updated version of the pattern and share it with my readers. This neck pillow is really simple to do. It's just a basic hack on my regular neck pillow pattern. There are two sizes. This is the children and adults version. There's also a smaller one for smaller kids. There's a little tail. I've changed how the tail gets attached on. This way is much easier and I actually like it a whole lot more. The face stays the same as it had been. I also added a carry strap, which you can put on or not, according to how you want it. There are snaps, or you can put Velcro to open it up. You can snap it on to your suitcase, to your backpack, whatever you're using when you are traveling, or you can just use it to hang it up in your room. Let me show you now how to make this really cool cat neck pillow. First off, download the free cat neck pillow pattern from coochiecoochiecoo.com. To assemble it, you need scissors and tape. To sew this pillow, you will need some sort of fabric. I'm using this sort of velveteen. A contrast color for the nose and the eyes. Some scissors. I use these whiskers razor edge scissors, which I love. Regular pins. Then a pen, obviously, for tracing the pattern. Needles, I'm using these DMC number 22 chenille needles and the black DMC size 8 cotton perlé thread, which is really great. Okay, if you're going to do the optional carry strap, you will need a medium weight interfacing, fusible, a couple of snaps. If you don't want to use these, you can also use Velcro, and obviously an iron. In order to stuff it, I'm using this memory foam scrap, which I really love. The cat neck pillow pattern has 6 pages. There's the child size, the optional strap, the adult size, the tail, and the ear also. We're going to do the adult size, but let me just show you how to assemble the pattern. You have to trim the right-hand side of the pages as well as the bottom. Here, just the bottom, and let's assemble the pieces. The 2 triangles match up to make a rhombus. Let's continue. Assemble. These last pages we don't really need to assemble. Let's do it anyway. Now let's join the rows. Again, match up the triangles to form rhombuses and make sure the other lines match up as well. Okay, let's cut out the pieces we need. Ear, strap, tail, adult. Trace 2 of the strap pieces onto the non-sticky side of the medium weight interfacing. Then just cut out around them, leaving a little bit of a space around them. Next, place these pieces onto the back side of your fabric. Use a protective cloth and iron without steam for however long the manufacturer tells you to. Take off the protective cloth and let's cut out along the lines traced on the interfacing. Now you have your 2 pieces for the straps. My fabric has a nap, meaning that it goes in a direction, the feeling of the fabric. So this is how it goes down. Now fold your piece in half like this. Make sure that the top is the top of where the nap goes from. Then pin across the top and down the open side. Now let's prepare the other pieces. Make sure again that the nap is going down. Pin the pieces to your fabric. You need 2 layers of each. Then trace all the way around the pillow piece, marking off where it says that the tail goes on the pattern. Do the same, going around the tail. I like to pin the pattern pieces on, and 2 of the ear, so you'll have 4 total pieces, 1 and 2. Remove the pattern pieces and pin around the fabric. Now you're going to sew around the tail there, around the ear like this, around the ear like this. We're going to leave these points open for turning. As for the straps, we're going to sew across the top and down, across and down, with a 1 centimeter seam allowance. Okay, here you can see. Let's trim off the corners like this, and let's cut all around, trim off the extra fabric. You can see the hole there. Again, the tail. And here we have our tail, ears, and straps ready for turning. Alright, I use these tweezers that came with my serger, but you can use whatever else, a chopstick. Okay, stick it in, push the top in there, kind of pull it out. There we go. This fabric is nice and slippery, so it slips out nicely. There we go. Okay, we're going to do the same here. The ears, do the same, or you can even just use your fingers. It's pretty easy. And adjust the fabric from the inside to get the shape right. Do that with the other ear as well. And the tail. Again, stick in your tweezers or whatever tool you're using and just pull it right out. Make sure you grab the end properly. Okay, here we go. Again, adjust it from the inside. Make sure the curve is proper. There we go. Now let's stuff it. Open it up and stick your stuffing in. Again, I'm using memory foam because it's really nice and stiff. Push it down all the way to the end, little by little. Make sure it's pushed right into the end, like this. And then continue filling the rest. When you're done stuffing it, sew right down that opening to keep it all closed. Go within the regular seam allowance, close to the edge. Now, let's get the rest of the catneck pillow pattern ready. Again, remember you've marked both where the tail goes and also the center top where the straps are going to go. Alright, the tail goes like this, so we need to put it like this, sewing it on the inside. So let's remove that pin to insert it. Okay, make sure that there is this 1 centimeter seam allowance sticking out from there. There we go. See how it's sticking out beyond where the line is. Pin it in place. Likewise, we're going to be doing the same thing with the straps. I put a little tag here, which I like. Okay, see where the 2 seam allowances are. I like to put them on opposite sides to avoid excess bulk. Flatten them out like this, make sure they're matched up. They will go like this. Again, we need to pin them on the inside, so let's remove a couple of pins. It's going to go like this, that way it'll flip open like that. Okay, stick it in. Again, make sure that we have 1 centimeter, 3/8 of an inch of seam allowance sticking out like that, beyond where the line is. Like that. Okay, close up the fabric and pin everything in place. Make sure the 2 straps are together. Continue pinning. Alright, now we're going to sew from about there all around here, past the straps and a little bit beyond. We're going to stop here. Now we've sewn all around. We've gotten the tail as well as the straps. Before you continue sewing, just make sure that the seam allowances are completely out. There we go, here's the tail. And let's also look at the strap, just to make sure that it's been sewn properly. There we go. Okay, now we're going to continue sewing, but first we need to get the tail out of the way. So let's kind of fold it up like this. It's a little bit weird and bulky, but just kind of fiddle around with it the best you can and pin. Okay, the same thing with straps. You can reach in from the opening there and just kind of push them off to the side. Kind of like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, just out of the way. Okay, see how it's off to the side? We're going to continue sewing around the rest of the pillow, but we need to leave an opening to turn it all right side up. Here's where we stop sewing. The strap's over here. So let's leave an opening about like there. Okay, this way we can stuff it or turn it around and stuff it. So let's pin where we're going to start sewing. I'm going to put 2 pins just to recognize it from the other pins. Okay, so continue sewing from there all the way around to where you had started before. Okay, let's adjust this, pin it. You might need to maneuver a bit, but it'll work fine. There we go, it's all been sewn all the way around. You can see the opening here, which is where we're going to turn it and then stuff it. You can see the straps are here. When sewing around, the tail can get a little bit in the way, so what I did is I put my hand in and I kind of pulled the tail out of the way when I was in that area, just to make sure that I could sew without accidentally sewing into the tail. Okay. Before we turn it, we need to trim off the excess fabric. Cut close to the stitching without cutting into it. Where the opening is, I like to leave a little bit more fabric just to help sew it back afterwards. Here we go. Here's the opening. So let's reach our hand inside, grab the tail or whatever, and kind of pull it out. There we go. Finish pushing everything out from the inside to make sure all the curves are out properly. There we are. Okay, now we're going to stuff it. Use the hole, get your stuffing, and start sticking all your stuffing inside. Again, like we did with the tail, make sure you push it all the way into the end. Take your needle and thread. We're going to use a ladder stitch to close up this opening. If you're unfamiliar with the ladder stitch, you can find a video on my YouTube channel or on my blog. You can see a full tutorial. Now it's all closed, let's make a little loop with the thread to tie a knot. Then stick the needle inside here, pull it out just somewhere else. Pull, cut the thread, and the thread disappears inside the thing. Now let's just kind of adjust the stuffing, make sure it's kind of properly adjusted. Now let's do the ears. We're going to fold over the edge like this so it kind of goes up. See how it's overlapped? Okay. Take your needle and thread. I'm using a double strand just to be stronger. Start from the back and just make a few stitches just to hold this fold in place. Now take the cat. I've already put one ear on. Let's add this second ear. Just put it wherever you would like it. Grab a little bit of fabric next to the ear and start sewing the pillow fabric to the ear. You can just do whatever. Here's a little running stitch. You can do a little bit of a whip stitch like this around the edges. And continue like that to make sure the ear is securely stuck on. Then, when you're done sewing, just tie a knot and hide the thread like we did with the opening. Okay, once we've got the ears sewn on, we need to do the eyes and the nose. Take your contrast fabric. On the back side of it, I just drew on the shape that I wanted of the eyes and the nose. Cut out the nose, we'll do first. Put it here just to make sure it's okay. Okay, the eyes we want 2, so fold the fabric and cut along the lines to make your 2 eyes. And they're gonna go like this. You can stick those pieces on with a pin if you want to hold them still, like I did here. Take your needle and thread. Start from the back side of one of the eyes. Just adjust everything. And simply start sewing around, grabbing a little bit of fabric from behind the eye and pulling it up through the eye as well. Oops. Okay, through the fabric, oops, and then through the eye. So around this eye, then the other eye, and the nose. When you're done, tie a knot and hide the thread like we did before. Now, let's start embroidering on the whiskers. So stick your needle in somewhere like that and pull it out where you want the first whisker to start. There's the knot. To hide it, just pull it a little bit and it'll pull right through the fabric. but it's still in place there if you don't pull too hard. Okay, imagine where you want the whisker to go. So let's say like that, and we want it to end about here. Okay, so go through here and pull out where you want the next whisker to start, closer to the nose. You might have to fiddle around a little bit. You can also use a longer needle, which makes it easier. Okay, that's good. So let's pull it out. And there we have our first whisker. Don't pull too hard or it'll bunch up. Second whisker will go like that. So let's continue like so. I'm going to do 3 whiskers. There, pull it out for the other side. Let's turn it around. It's going to go past the side seam. Okay. There we go. Second whisker there, and the third whisker. When you're done with this last whisker, pull out in the eye where you want to start sewing the black pupil. Kind of adjust the whiskers before you start. Okay, the pupil. It's going to go straight up like this. So start, you don't need to actually go through all the fabric, just the green fabric here, and pull down. We're going to want to sew back and forth a few times to give it a little more thickness. Then do the same for the other eye. When you're done, tie a little knot where it can be hidden, and again, pull the needle through and trim off the thread so you can't see any of that embroidery thread. And there we are! We're done with our cute little kitty face. Isn't that adorable? If you've sewn your straps, we need to add on the snaps or the Velcro. You see how they overlap? And I've added 2 snaps like this. Again, you can use Velcro, but they match up perfectly. You can hang your neck pillow like this. And here's your cute little cat. It's got little perky ears, an adorable little face, a little waggly tail, and a fantastic carrying strap. This pillow is perfect for traveling or for giving away. Make sure you head on over to coochiecoocieCoo.com for all sorts of great sewing tutorials and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. See you soon!